So today I wanted to talk about feeling the fear but doing it anyway, and how there's a certain element of truth to that, but it's also about knowing where your own limits are. I think that you to grow in your life in anything you want to do. I think fear can hold us back so much. Fear of being seen, fear of being heard, all those things. And if we don't kind of push ourselves into that fear a little bit, out of our comfort zone, we're not going to grow as much as what we can. And for me, I was always consider myself a shy person. I always thought that I was super, super shy when I was little. I never used to like speaking to anybody. Oh gosh, the red that used to come over me if I used to speak in front of people was just horrifying. I hated it, and the thought of being heard as I was myself. I wasn't am an actor, and people think, oh, why are you shy? You're an actor, but you're not saying your own words when you're on stage. You are saying a script that you've been given and you're acting it out. But if somebody told me to get on stage and just be me and talk, oh, the absolute fear. And I think a lot of people have this. It's the public speaking fear, isn't it? The fear of speaking in front of people and being judged and, knowing what they're going to think. And it is toe curlingly like scary. And yeah, and I definitely thought like this, and I never thought that I would be doing this. I never thought I'd be doing this. I never thought I'd have a podcast out or be doing videos or any of that. So it can be done. You can shift your own fears and limiting beliefs. And the way I did it, I think I was listening to a podcast by the amazing Gina Swire. If you haven't, she's a self-love expert. I would recommend her. And she was talking to a gentleman who was basically talking about how we can sort of do anything if we put our minds to it. It's this idea. I think it's if you do something 300 times, you will become pretty efficient at it. You become pretty good at it. No matter what that is. It was 300 times, I think it came up with. And I thought, okay, well, what's the one thing that I struggle with, that I really want to work on? And I knew that it was talking in front of people and being myself in front of people and talking about all the spiritual and self-love stuff that I thought maybe people won't get. Is everyone ready to hear me talk about these things and hear about these things? And it just felt so edgy for me. But I know that I wanted to do it because I know I wanted to get to a space where I could talk about this kind of thing on videos like this, on my podcast, on all of this stuff. So I think I did my first story at some point on Instagram, and I remember just being so excited. I can't remember. I think I spoke about something really generic. I can't even remember now. But I started to post videos on my my personal Instagram page, just about stuff that I was going through, stuff that I was learning at the time. I was going through a big kind of spiritual journey at the time. So I just thought, I'm just going to talk about this and see if it resonates with anybody. And yeah, the first times were cringy, and I felt so uncomfortable, and like even posting it, I was like, oh my gosh, and the urge to re-record myself. I think I would record and go, oh no, you said that, or you said that wrong, and maybe I'll just re-record it. And I had to just go, no, just post it. Just post whatever it is in the raw form and just see what happens. And this was mainly for me, to get past that fear, the fear of what it would be like to do that. And the more I did it, the easier it got, which is the same with most things, really, when you think about it. The more you do it, the easier it gets. And the more confident I got, and the more comfortable I got. So I think I got to I don't know, I think it was 40 something in the end. I can't remember. And I was just like, yeah, I can do this now. Like, this is something that I can do. And now I find it super easy to talk on video and just talk about this kind of stuff and the spiritual stuff and all the self-love practices that I do. And I love it. But I wouldn't have got to that space if I hadn't pushed myself just a little bit out of my comfort zone. And that's almost where you need to live if you want to grow, if you want to move forward. And like I say, it's not going to be comfortable. But I think we have to get used to not being comfortable. You know, it's so easy for us to kind of relax and go, well, I want a comfortable, easy life. Yeah, but don't you want to grow and move and evolve? Kind of, because I know I do. So that's what I did and how I did it. So I got some journaling prompts if you want to just write around sort of certain fears that you have. So number 1 is, how has fear stopped you in the past? Okay, so how has fear stopped you in the past? So just do a little think about maybe things that have happened to you and what has stopped you from achieving, you know, your goals, your desires, things that you really, really want. What has stopped you from that? Just have a think. Number 2 is, what do you fear right now? You know, what is stopping you right now? Number 3, what's one thing you could do today to combat that fear? And like I say, it can be super small, like the smallest thing you can do to just combat that fear. And just have a think about that. You don't even need to do it today. It's just putting that little thought process in place, just that little nudge, just journal it out. And journaling it out often just brings things to the surface as well. And finally, number 4, how would you feel a year from now if you still had that fear? And this is a big one. So how would you feel if you were still in the same place where you had that fear, and because of that fear, it stopped you doing something that you desire? And how would you feel? So that's a good one. I do this one myself. I have done this one myself. So that's just some journal prompts to get you going. But yeah, just think about things that might be holding you back from living the life you truly desire. So that's all I have for today, and thank you very much.